How's everybody doing? This is Ruben once again with your philosophy. Today I want to talk about something very specific, something that I have seen across YouTube and seeing different opinions and different perspectives. Now, just like I always say, there's really no right or wrong thing. There's really no right or wrong when it comes to opinions. Everybody have them and everybody should have them, and there should be a difference in opinion. There should be a difference in opinion. Who knows what's right and wrong? And if you think that you're the only one with the right opinion and that you're the only one that have the right answers, then you're the idiot. Everybody deserves to have their own opinion. So, just like anything other else in all my videos and all my talks, including this one, it's my opinion. Okay? But I want to talk about a specific subject that I feel will help a lot of people. And I hope it does. Because it has helped me when I discovered it and had the revelation to it. And today the topic it's on depression and antidepressants. Okay? 30 to 40 million Americans are suffering from depression according to statistics. Depression is not something depression is looked upon from people who don't have it, just like people who are skinny and look at overweight people constantly eating. If you look at a person who's thin and doesn't have a eating disorder, and then they look at someone who is overweight who does have a eating disorder, they look at them and they say, hey, look, just stop eating. If you have an eating disorder, just stop eating. If you're overweight, why don't you just stop eating? Like to them it's very simple. They can't see how they can do it. It's almost a similar thing when it comes to people who are depressed or maybe have anxiety or have all these emotional issues. People who haven't gone through this and really don't know what it is, they look at that person and they say, hey, just stop being depressed. Like, just don't have anxiety, just go out and do things. It's not that easy. It's not very easy. And since a very young age, I've dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with depression. It's not a nice thing. It's not a very good thing. It's a very frustrating thing. It's something that at many times it gets very scary. You feel hopeless. That's basically what it is. You see, your idea of hope is diminished. It just depends on the severity of your depression, of course, and anxiety, but that's basically what it is. Your hope for the future is diminished. And it's an emotional issue. Now, scientists and the medical industry tells us that it's chemical imbalance in your brain. Okay, it's a chemical imbalance in your brain. And it's very and I believe, in my opinion, that it's true. For many of the people who are struggling with psychiatric problems like depression or anxiety, I can't go beyond that because I have no experience in that. But I can talk about depression and anxiety and antidepressants. When it comes to that, I believe that for the most part, the majority of people, yes, there's an actual chemical imbalance, and medication can actually help. It can really help, and you should definitely take the advice of your psychiatrist, of your doctor, very serious, and take their opinion very, very, very strongly, and you should follow their orders. So, if you have depression, if you have anxiety, if you've been struggling with it enough and long enough, you're getting to a point that you are really, really having trouble doing basic things of life. Getting off of bed, eating, even enjoying things you used to enjoy, like watching TV, maybe go outside for walks, maybe play with your dog, maybe, you know, get on the computer, whatever. Even taking a shower is a struggle. That's what depression is. Severe depression. And if you dealt with it long enough, you might start getting symptoms like that. And even that, you'll start developing even symptoms of suicidal thoughts. You want to kill yourself, like you don't see no other hope. When you're in that level, I definitely think you should seek medical assistance immediately. Definitely. Absolutely. It's like if you're in a car accident, you need to go to the hospital immediately. Get filled up with drugs, whatever's needed immediately. Now, there's lower cases of depression as well. They are not as severe. And many times they can get resolved basically by getting down to the root. And that is correcting your brain, correcting your mind, correcting your thoughts. Basically, that correcting your thoughts. Correcting your thoughts. Developing a more positive attitude, breaking old negative habits, start doing things differently. If it's not severe depression, you may still have the energy to lift yourself up through proper, education on the thought process, on changing your thought process, because that's basically what it is. The reason you have anxiety is because of fear. The reason you're depressed is because that emotions have gone long enough to the point that you're like overwhelmed over it, and that's what depression is. So basically, if you could change your thought process to a much more positive one, basically, if you could get your negative ball of energy smaller than, if you could get your positive ball of energy bigger than your negative ball of energy, then that's where the shift must happen. Right now, your negative ball of energy is bigger than your positive ball of energy. Now, right now, things like if you don't have severe depression, getting educated, getting on the thought process and correcting your process to more positive things like reading books, reading positive books on an ongoing basis, on a regular basis, every single day, as much as you can. Get overwhelmed, get bathed in that information, read books. Also listen to audios, listen to positive audios, self-help audios, self-help videos, self-help positive videos. If you could go to gathering events of like-minded people who are striving for better success, for getting a better situation in life, positive thinking, self-help in a gathering situation, doing that. Church for many people is that. No matter what it is, it could be self-help, motivation, whatever. It could be spirituality, For me, in my opinion, well, I'm not going to give you right now. I'm going to give you my opinion and what I believe, in my opinion, is the best way. But it's just my opinion. Okay. So, many people, and even then, doesn't mean that you cannot go, that you shouldn't go to your doctor or your psychiatrist and get, for example, an antidepressant. Doesn't mean that you don't have to do that. You can. And if you feel inside that you should, you definitely should. So you go to your psychiatrist, you go to your doctor or whatever, and you get prescribed an antidepressant. One thing you have to realize is that the antidepressant is not going to work right away. Averagely, they say it takes about, you know, 3 to 4 months, right, for it to really kick in. So for those 3 or 4 months, maybe if you, depending on the severity of your anxiety, depression, whatever, you may want to get another medication involved to help you, calm yourself down. You know, for many people, it's like anxiety medications or something else that your doctor may provide. But for most people, they can wait, you know, the 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 whole three. They'll be fine in the 3 months, till it starts really kicking in. Now, there's two choices. And this is from my experience, okay? The antidepressants will work. And sometimes it's a hit and miss. Sometimes you may be prescribed a medication and you don't see it really working. So you may have to change the medication. And that's the little frustrating part about it. That you may try a few different medications till you find the one that really works for you. That's the hard part about it. That's the frustrating part about it. But let's say you find the medication that works for you. For most people, the first medication that they are given works for them. For the majority of people. But just in case if it doesn't, then you might get prescribed a different medication and so on and so on. Of course, never stop taking the medication unless your doctor tells you to. So you find the antidepressant that works for you. You've taken it for 3 to 4 months, you feel a change. You finally can get up out of your bed. You're starting to enjoy things that you used to enjoy. You start enjoying things like going outside. Getting out of bed is not as much of a struggle. Now, there's a lot of people actually, they do a couple things. They either stay on that medication for a long, long time. Some people stay with it a couple of months after it already kicked in, maybe 6 months to a year. There's people who take it longer than that. Now, I look on YouTube here, and I see all these reviews on these antidepressants, and I have nothing against these people, and my best wishes go to them, and my best desires for them go to them, and I hope that they find the best out of life, and I hope their life is working out better. But most of these people are really bashing these antidepressants. They're actually saying that they're bad. It didn't work for them. They feel it worked for them a little bit, but not fully. Some say that the side effects, whatever. That's another thing. You might get some side effects at the beginning. There's a good chance you will. Some don't, but it's a good chance you will. But just stick it out. I mean, it's really, that's what I'm telling you. If they're bad enough, then you should consult your doctor to maybe give you some medication to ease the symptoms of the side effects. Right. But for the most part, you see these people, and they say that these antidepressants didn't really work for them, or that it just gave them withdrawals really bad, or you hear negativity about them. In my opinion, I think that an antidepressant is a tool. It's a tool. It's not the answer to your depression. It's not the answer to your anxiety. It's a tool. Okay? It's just like if you're going from Dallas to New York, you can walk and you'll eventually get there, or you can drive. You'll get there a bit faster, right? Or you could take a boat, go down to the Gulf of Mexico, then take it down the East Coast or whatever. Or you could take a non-stop flight, right? It's a tool that can help you overcome your, I don't want to say mental issue, but more like your situation of depression and anxiety. Most people just rely on the medication. Most people just, and this is my opinion, this is just my opinion. Like I said from the beginning, it's my opinion. Of course, if you take an advice, check with your doctor first or whatever. This is just my opinion. But most people just, they're suffering this, and it's something horrible to suffer through, and I understand your pain. And most people look at this as just taking that pill, and then that's it. That should make them better. That should take them back to normal. Most of the time, it doesn't. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why, and why you keep hearing these negative reviews. The reason is because, like I said, the antidepressant is meant as a tool. It's a tool that you can use to help you overcome your depression or your anxiety much faster and much more effectively. You can overcome it without the medication. It's just harder, and it may take longer and a lot of effort. But there's some people, who have really severe depression that haven't even having a hard time to get up out of bed. I mean, yes, I would really suggest you get some medical attention. Definitely. But it's meant as a tool. And this is what I mean. When you're taking the antidepressant, no matter what it is, whether it's Celexa, Zoloft, Prozac, Lexapro, whatever medication was prescribed to you that your doctor, believe fits you the best, don't give up on it. If you start feeling some real bad side effects, call your doctor, tell them, hey, if there's anything you can give me to ease this pain, they will gladly give it to you, for the first couple of weeks, at least the first month. And then once you hit the 3 to 4 month, and it's sometimes up to 6 months to really, but most likely 3 to 4 months, the average, right? The most of the people will see the difference 3 to 4 months. You'll start getting some energy back. you'll start feeling better. But it doesn't mean that that's it. That's all you need. What you need is to get down to the root cause of the problem. The antidepressant is good to get rid of your symptoms. They're there to get rid of your symptoms. You need to get down to the root and cut the root. And the root of your depression and of your anxiety is negative thinking. I have video. I have a video. It's a two-part video, I believe, and it's called "The Root Cause of Your Problem," and it says no condemnation, and this is condemnation. I would suggest you look at that video. This is a great video. But your root problem, it's your wrong thinking. Your wrong thinking. If you have severe anxiety, severe depression, what you're hearing out of my mouth and you're saying, oh my God, wrong thinking, I hear that over and over again. I know, because you are so overwhelmed, and then there's and also a chemical imbalance may also be put into place. But research has also shown that changing your mindset to, let's say, a more positive mindset actually renormalizes or reestablish whatever chemical that you may have a malfunction of in your brain. Research has also shown that. And that is the whole purpose. Most people take their antidepressant and think that's their answer, and they don't do nothing else. They just take that. People take that and they even eat healthy and exercise, and they say, hey, it's still, sort of like I'm way better than I was, but I'm not there yet. Well, you have to change your mindset. You have to change your belief system. See, that's the core problem there, is your belief system. You have to change it. And I'm not here to push anything upon you. I'm not here to push anything upon you. Whatever works for you works for you. My opinion, I believe, hearing a true teaching like Christianity can really help. And not just, I'm talking about the true gospel, like grace, the true gospel of grace. And people like Joseph Prince and people like Joel Osteen, pastors, they give you great messages. I believe Jesus is the answer. That's my opinion, because that's my belief. I went through my situation of anxiety, of depression, since I was a very young kid. I had severe anxiety and I had depression. It was a struggle that I my mother could tell you in deeply. I always kept that private because I never wanted people to know, but I suffered through that a lot. And it wasn't until I was revealed the true gospel of Jesus Christ that changed me, that saved me. And antidepressants even gave me the tool, like it helped me get there faster. You see, you may be so low that you need something to help you pick yourself up and move forward. If Christianity offends you or whatever, then don't go to that. Go to self help. Get some self help books. Get some positive information. You know how many hours we spend a year in our vehicles? That time, if you're suffering from depression and you're taking an antidepressant, get some positive information in you. Listen to a positive audio on your way to work, on your way to the store. When you're in that car, you have time. When you're on your lunch break, take a positive self-help with you, self-help book with you, and read it. Start changing your mindset. Start changing your belief system. You think right, you believe right, you live right. You believe right, you live right. You can look at my videos. You can look at my blog. Visit my Instagram. I have a bunch of powerful information there. Get overwhelmed in positive information. You have to change your belief system. See, that's one thing people will deny it and will say it's not true and whatever. But I look at all these videos and I see these people saying, look, I did the antidepressant and that didn't help me. I just felt all this. And you can just tell, like, they just focusing on the negative. The reason is because their belief says the root cause of their problem is their negative belief system. There's a belief system. You have to change that belief system to something positive. An antidepressant or a psychiatric medication, it's only a picker upper, something that can help you pick yourself up so you can move forward. But in the same time, it gives you the ability for you to change your belief system, because before, your mind may be so all over the place and your thoughts all over the place that you probably can't even focus on something positive. This and I thank God for His grace that He could bless us and to live in a generation where we can have this sort of help to pick ourselves up and move forward. So can you, and you must do that. If you're taking an antidepressant, or if you're depressed, if you're suffering from anxiety, check with your doctor, right? And get your belief system right. Or if you're suffering from depression and anxiety, get your belief system right. Get it down to the root cause of this. If you go to your doctor and they give you a prescription, that's just gonna get rid of the symptoms, but it's not gonna get rid of the root cause, which is the belief system. And that is what you need to get rid of. The root cause of your problem, which is the belief system, the negative belief system. You got to change it to a positive one. You may be so depressed, you may have so much anxiety and all these problems that you may not be able to focus on changing that belief system. You may not have the strength. You may need some help, like an antidepressant. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't be ashamed for seeking for help. You are a beautiful person and you deserve happiness. Your God-given right is to be happy. That's why God blessed us with help all around. So if you feel you need that, do that. But remember, take the opportunity, now that you're taking this antidepressant or whatever medication that can help your mind, your thought process be more balanced. Take this opportunity to now really dig in and change that core, that root problem, and is that negative belief system, and change it around. Because now you can. Now you have an open door to change it. And once you change it, permanently change it, now automatically everything changes. Now everything is in balance. That's the way it goes. That's the way it is. Very that simple. If you're new, if you're looking for information on antidepressants or what am I gonna experience, this and that. Look, most of the majority of things you're gonna see on here on YouTube, on the internet, is gonna be negative. Is gonna be disencouraging because all they nothing against those people. I swear, I wish them the best. But it's the truth. You're gonna see nothing but negative. You're gonna see either somebody's just bashing it from the side effects that felt horrible, or two, they just say they didn't work or it make them feel like nothing. Look, change. Follow what I'm telling you. Okay. So I wish you guys the best. And like I said, it's get some positive information no matter what it is. Whatever you feel is calling you. My opinion, I believe, is Christianity. Jesus Christ is the answer. In my opinion. But your opinion may be different. God bless you. But get into a good, if it's religion, if it's whatever it is that can get you thinking differently, and do it constantly. Do it constantly. Church is a great place because one, you have the opportunity to